Mm-hmm. We've been to go there. Oh yeah. Get ready. Nicki news, Nicki news, Nicki news. Now, was it me? Was it me? Or was it all of us who saw the Nicki Minaj interview when she sat down with Fat Master Stank? I mean, I'm sorry. Punk Master Flex. I'm sorry. Punk Flex. Now, when she sat down with him and she sat there and did this interview, he swore up and down no one pays him for his attention. No one pays him to spit no records. That's why he can stand up there and do what he do and say it. Say it. Nobody paid you. But now you running the Nicki show. That seems pretty strange, brother. Less than a week later, you running on a show. After she came up there and did a sit down with you, now you gonna run her radio show. Talking about he never took a bag. Tell the truth. Why your name ain't Funk Master Flex no more? Why you Funk Flex? Tell the truth. We'll leave that one on the back burner, won't we? Huh? All of a sudden you're not a master no more, huh? Still got the logo. Why you Funk Flex? Huh? You know I know why. We gonna save that one and put it on the back burner. But he ain't gonna talk about that, will he? Will he talk about why he's now Punk Flex and why he's no longer the master? Why don't he talk about that? Since he wants to brag. Brag how you playing tennis in your turtle shells now. How you done stuck a vacuum cleaner up your butt to suck out 50 pounds and you're still 380. Think because he wears all black, it's gonna cover it up. Yo, if I put on this black, it all makes me look skinny. People think I got abs now. Nah, you knock off Jam Master J looking mug. Now, here's the thing. Punk Master Flex, aka Fat Master Stank, definitely talked about and bragged about why he was trying to attack Cardi B. All of a sudden, his energy for Cardi B changed once she signed to Quality Control. He didn't have this energy for Cardi B when she came out. His energy changed when she signed to quality control and left her old management because her old management is cool with him because they from New York and they did projects together. Now all of a sudden you want to turn on her. Yo, they offer me money to play your records. Them the people you cool with. The people you cool with, you basically dissing them. That's why you kissing up to them trying to diss Cardi now for them. You ain't had that energy when Bodak Yellow was out. You done messed up like 3 MTV shows. You done messed up your doggone, you done messed up the doggone car thing that you had working. You messed up lugs. You messed up everything you didn't have. I had to stop rocking lugs because of you. I'm like, man, lugs, Eric Sermon. And they put Fat Master Stank in it and it all went down. Talking about, yo, I never took a bag. They all offered me money, and I'm like, I ain't never take no money from nobody. Tell me Dame Dash didn't come to you with a paper bag full of money so you could play Ain't No Nigga on the radio. Flex. Tell him he didn't walk up to the studio and hand you a paper bag full of money to play Ain't No Nigga by Jay-Z and Foxy Brown. Tell me I'm lying. Not everybody can come up here. Answer the question, Flex. We talking mad greasy today. Now, tell me, and anybody out there, go ask Punk Master. Go ask Dame Dash. Dame, did you ever bring a paper bag full of money to Funk Flex to play that song on the radio? So don't tell me you ain't nobody give you the bag to play no records. You a liar. And they give you favors. They've been giving you favors for years. Oh, they're going to give you access to this event. Oh, the camera on them. How you think you got? Oh, my God. All of a sudden, you was the Dipset spokesman? Why was you the Dipset spokesman? Because you had a deal with Dipset. Dipset reunion before all that. He was the one pushing Dipset. So you wasn't getting a bag from Dipset? Stop lying to the youth. You're confusing them. We know who you are, Stank. We know who Fat Master Stank was. The guy who could never DJ nowhere else except for New York. Not a world-renowned DJ. The only place you could do is here, the Bahamas, Maui, somewhere else where they don't know you. You're not a world-renowned DJ. Let's see you go to Miami. That's still East Coast. Let's see you do a show out here DJing in Chicago. Go down to the fest. They say you came to the D one time and it was terrible. They want their money back. And I don't blame them. They want their money back, Fat Master. Now he want to go run the Nicki Minaj show after all the years, right? The years they weren't speaking to each other. They make up on his show. Now he running over to her show like that wasn't worked out. That's payola, chump. Oh yeah, I told you it's gonna get greasy in here today. And you can make a donation to all the people that's here live right there. I'll put it right there. You can click the link and make a donation to the page. We appreciate it. And all the rest of you who are watching this after the live is over, you can go in the description box and click it and make some donations, and I'll talk to you. And your book has been mailed out, Sir Nova. If you do watch this late, you're probably not on it now. Out doing your thing. Like I told you, all you was waiting for was you. Book gone now. He wasn't fishing. He does what he always does. He creates a narrative when there is none. He has no controversy. Nobody talks to him. Nobody deals with him. He's nothing but a bootlicker. He's been a bootlicker for the past 15 years. You've been in that job 25 years and you haven't excelled and you still spinning records? You don't own any stock in Hot 97 yet? You're still a worker ant? People have came in and surpassed you and went on? Now you still got to kiss up to all these artists, and you've been there 50 some odd years before they even showed up. Why is that? Do you want to know why that is? Because Punk Master Flex is afraid to leave New York because he know he done created so much beef with his mouth from all his trash talking and bootlicking. He can't go to the West Coast. He can't go nowhere out there. You know what happens if somebody from the West Coast find out he's spinning a record somewhere? They don't take a record and break it upside his head. Yeah. I know his bosses will always be the boss of the company. His kid is gonna be running Flex. Flex gonna be 65 years old with all gray hair around his. Now everybody can come up in here. Who you mad at? Me or yourself? Let's go on the ones and twos. He already grayed up. He be dyeing that stuff. It's so black. It's shining. You can see people reflection, the cameraman reflection in his doggone goatee. Yo! Not everybody could come up here. Nobody want to come up there. Not anybody any merit. Nicki is ashamed she got to come up there. Nicki was like, man, I got to come up there. I'm really not in the game no more. She's not in the game no more. That's why she was at the VMAs. Think about it. Wasn't nobody at the VMAs? People were thinking of reasons not to come to the VMAs. Half of the people that was nominated wasn't even there. They was Bruno Mars. No Bruno. Jay-Z and Beyonce. No Jay-Z and Beyonce. Drake. We ain't there either. Nobody was coming to that. They had to make Cardi B get out of bed to come to the doggone VMA. She wasn't gonna come. She was at home with the baby. Like, look, they were like, look, we'll cut you a check. Can you please just open the show? We'll make a big promotion about it. Like, Nicki, Cardi, you ain't gotta perform. She's like, I'm not ready to perform. I'm not in any shape to perform right now. Don't worry. You ain't gotta perform. Just show up. So if they needed her to show up to keep the lights on, nobody cared about no Shawn Mendes. I'm like, Shawn Mendes? What team he play for? They're like, no, he's a singer. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what them teeny boppers is caring. Nobody cared about that. People all cared about Cardi. That's all they cared about. Oh, Cardi got a new song she premiered yesterday at the after party. Yeah, she was getting at Nicki on that song. I know how to get the bag, don't I? I know how to get a it's mad, don't I? He called us up the queen. I'm the queen of talking it. Yeah, yeah, she coming. Yeah, y'all better quit playing with Cardi. She coming. Nick better stay in her place. She better make a career with radio. I mean, that thing is looking like the BET Awards. Matter of fact, the awards were shown on BET last night. The MTV Awards had to be shown on BET. That's how bad it is. They ain't coming to that. I knew Jay-Z and Beyonce ain't coming with that. Yeah, they try to make it look like Nicki radio show is hot because of Nicki. Oh, like, why wasn't hot the week before? It was hot this week because they wanted to see what she gonna say something about Cardi. That's all they were waiting on, for her to say something about Cardi. That's it. That's why people tuned in. They didn't tune in to hear you say nothing about no Travis Scott. Travis Scott said his album was #1. People barely talked about it yesterday. They talked about Cardi. Because why? Cardi's the it girl. You're not. You've been voted out of office, baby. They no longer mine, Nicki, because you don't matter. It is a case of mind over matter, and they no longer mine because you do not matter. How do they have a VMA, a video award show, when they don't play videos on MTV? I haven't watched MTV in years. I mean, years. I don't know what's on MTV. I have not seen MTV. Last night, I couldn't even find the channel. I had to just look up the VMAs and go through the guide. Nicki is hoping all this stuff It's good, but I'm glad she got a radio station because she finally got somewhere that they would, play her records. That's the only way you gonna hit Nicki Minaj records. Oh man. She had a fix a flat butt implants. It did look like that. Did you see it? It looked like a big gigantic chocolate chip cookie with all those doggone black dots all on it. I'm like, cover that stuff up. Ugh, that's like you walk in the room, you catch one of your aunties trying to put the stockings on or something. You're like, ugh, that's nasty looking. It just looks stank. Then trying to shake the stanky stuff on stage, like Everybody like, ugh. I know the crowd was like, oh, God. About this cookie, it is tasty. I'll be like, I don't know who's gonna go down there and taste that cookie. I'm quite sure Nas didn't go taste that cookie. That cookie crumbled. I'm quite sure he did crumble. I mean, but is that accomplishment to say you hit Nicki Minaj? I mean, really. Let's go through the lineup right here. Okay. Let's do this the right way. Nicki was dating Safari, right? What was Safari's career when he was with Nicki? Non-existent. Am I correct? Am I right or am I right? Right. None of you even knew who he was. The moment he got away from Nicki Minaj, he got a career. He has a career. Meek Mill was next, right? Right. Meek Mill comes in. He's next in line. Meek Mill had a career. He was doing well. He got in with Nicki Minaj. Next thing you know, he's in court. He's got all this drama going on. He got everything against him. Everything falls apart. His life went down as he got with Nicki Minaj. Who was next after that? Who was the person she went to right after that? Future. Future was on a roll. Future was the hottest thing going. She ran the Future. Future was out there doing his thing. Everything was cracking for him. Mess with Nicki. He had to get away from her quick. They put out a song and a video that I swear to God I never seen again. It never came up and never did nothing again. I don't know where that video went. It's done. He put out 2 CDs that wouldn't have done nothing if it wasn't for Mask Off. Thank God he was away from Nicki when all that happened. Then who came after that? Was it Fetty Wap? No, Wayne was smart not to get involved. Wayne was smart not to get involved. He tried, but she told him no. Oh, then it was Nas. She gets with Nas, runs Nas into the ground. Nas, Nas come out with the doggone album, 7 songs, great album. Nobody played it again, nobody downloaded. It came and went. So she breaks up with Nas. Nas just closes a deal and makes about $80 million. Word. It's crazy, right? Word. So now, what does that tell you? Then it's the Quavo situation. She runs the Quavo and gets all tight with Quavo to try to irritate Cardi. So she messing around with Quavo, and Quavo's like, all right, bet, we got something going. She's playing with him. This fool about to mess up his own thing. He causing rift within his own group, trying to mess around with this chick. Messing up his whole momentum. Next thing you know, the culture too, crash. Crashed and burned. Why? Messing around with Nicki. Now that he goes over to Carucci like, Carucci, what was I thinking? Nicki, did I do that? Yeah, you did. Drake tried to save the album with Walking Like I Talk It. Walk it like I talk it. Hey, walk it like I talk it. Hey. I'm like, man, he tried to save the album. But getting with this woman is a curse. Who's next to die by the cookie? You playing Russian roulette with your career dating Nicki Minaj. That's just it. And that's how you do it, Ruth. That's how you do it. That's it. That's out. I haven't heard the radio station. You think I'm a sit? I'll wait till they put all the good parts on the internet. That's it. Well, I'm gonna go waste my time listening to Nicki Minaj. I don't even want to sit through her album. Why in the world would we waste our time listening to her talk? She's an airhead on the records. What do you think she's gonna be in the interview? I'll wait till they take all the good stuff and throw it right on the ground. All she said today, she was the greatest rapper of all times and all this craziness. She's the Harriet Tubman of rap. I don't even know what that means. I don't think she knows what that means. So what can I tell you? I got a world history book for you right here, babe. It's called World History. World history, baby. Learn about it. Learn about it. Learn about it. This is a real book. It's that real book. Got to know. Got to learn what them hieroglyphics mean. Them hieroglyphics. Boom. A load of bollocks. No, it's not. It's not a load of bollocks. They show you things that you've seen and some things you have not seen. You really haven't seen this too much. You've seen it portrayed a lot in different instances. But it's a meaning behind everything. There's a lot of stuff in here you have not seen. See, and if you've seen the history of the world, you would be surprised. Like there are many other pyramids you have never seen. You've never been seeing these type of pyramids. You're like, where is this at? It's not a real pyramid, is it? It's a whole lot of things that were built that you never saw. This is one of the earliest human skulls found in Africa. Bam! There's some pretty amazing stuff in here. There are ancient artifacts you've never seen. That one we've seen 1,000 times. You never saw this place before, have you? Oh, never saw that. Oh, never saw that. Flex get his own Apple show? Nah. He ain't gonna get his own. He's never gonna get his own Apple show. My ancestors built the pyramids? No, my ancestors gave the commands to build the pyramids. There is a brother who was a professor. A professor of what? Professors, they just mean they book smart. That's it. Anybody could be a professor. Do you know being a professor, all you have to do is take the classes? That's it. Anybody can be a professor. But because somebody said their name is professor or the way they talk, next thing you know, they get a pass. They go, oh, okay. Professor Griff is not even a real professor. Professor Griff has a lot of knowledge, a ton of knowledge. He's really a minister of information. Yes, Professor Griff knows a lot. He knows a lot more than these college professors and everything else because he knows about the history of people. If you know about the history of yourself, the history, see what people try to do is make you omit your knowledge of yourself and history. History don't fit politically correct. History is not PC. Life isn't PC. So if you know that, then you know things are different. Still talking about Moors from Spain. Hey, you, dude, my knowledge go way beyond Moors in Spain. Are you kidding? We talked about Moors a long time ago. Everybody act like that's where it all started. Like, no, get out of here. How did the brothers get to Spain? If you watch Amistad, you start to see a little bit when they talk about the Moors when they were coming here. The Moors were basically originally pirates. They renegaded. They did what they wanted to do. They sailed to Spain. they the ones had the skull bones and the crosses with the thing. That was the Moors' flag. They sailed to Spain and took it over. They had those islands were called the Etruscan Islands. Okay, the place that's called Italy and Sicily, it was the Etruscan Islands, and it was ran by the Moors there, and they basically ran prostitution. They turned all the dudes' wives, all those Italian wives. That's why Italians hated blacks. They made them sex slaves. They took them women, and them women were out there being pimped by them brothers who were swinging 16 inches, 24 inches tripod brothers. They were out there. They were out there pimping them women, pimping the wives. And the Italians were mad. They ran Sicily. So the Italians was mad because their wives was trying to go over there to get work. Like, I gotta go get some work. I gotta go over there. So they were messing with them tripod brothers that was out there pimping them. They had like 8, 9 white women right there, and them they be laid up. The Etruscans. So the Etruscans party, got drunk. The Italians planned an attack, came in, killed majority of all of them, drove them out, and those women had babies galore. Who now you see around everywhere is Sicilians. They call them Sicilians. They're like, you in Sicily, that's where it comes from. You guys are Sicilians. So in that area, they don't really consider the Italians, don't really consider the Sicilians fully blood because they have dark eyes, black hair. Real Italians have blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what they say. That's the real pure Italians. So they always had this conflict within the two. When they right by each other because of all the sex and the stuff that was going on over there when the brothers were there. All this was from a movie. Y'all, it was in a movie, but not quite. That the part you saw in the movie was absolutely true. He was telling you the truth. But over time, they didn't care. It's just some of the old. Some of the old Italian ways, the old school guys. That's why they never liked the blacks. They said the Africans came there and took all their women and raped them. The Moors did and stole their wives. Now we've seen that happen here in the United States. Brother come around and the wife want to go with the brother, and the husband to say, "He stole my wife." So, but we actually know the truth, don't we? She wanted that tripod. And now you see the same things happening here. And then they lie, the husbands lie, "He stole my wife." So imagine them saying that now. Italians talking about the brothers came and stole and raped their wives and took them. You think I'm gonna believe that? I was like, they saw them brothers with them tripods and they look back at their husbands like, I just want to hear him out. What do you mean? I just want to hear what he has to say. Can I hear the man? Next thing you know, them white girls braiding their hair up. Sugarcoat the version of the truth. Oh, goodness. You guys have taken this to a history lesson. And I mean, that's just more history. That's just so small. You guys have no clue, really, about the ways of the world. I bet you guys think, like I tried to tell you before, you thought light-skinned blacks and dark-skinned blacks, we was all black, right? You thought that's what happened in the real world, right? No. If you were a light-skinned black, even my complexion, you were killed. Not by white people, by black people. They would chop you up. This was all over the world. You had to go and stay in your area and don't come out. Period. There was no unity. There are many shades of, yeah, today. We're talking about history and time. No, there were not. References and sources. Are you kidding? It's inscripted on the pyramids. They tell you what happened. It's on the pyramids in hieroglyphics, just like this. They tell you what happened. Matter of fact, go watch the movie Australia. They tell you they kill light-skinned blacks. And this was in the 1900s. When Pearl Harbor was going over in Australia, if you were light skinned, they would kill you. The dark skinned for the blacks will kill you. The Aborigine tribes, they knew the white guys were raping the people there, and they were making light skinned babies so that they could train them and teach them how to be Catholics and transfer them across the waters. You didn't know this happened? It's called the lost generation, and this in the 1900s. I am considered light skinned. See, you guys got to understand something. Do you see a lot of people in Africa? Do you see what their complexion is? If you weren't like that, you were gone. There was no politically correct. It ain't no we all get along. That's just it. I'm not saying that's the way the rules should be. I'm just saying that was law. You was an abomination. And the reason they chose to do that was the fact that they saw they were trying to replace you. They were trying to replace you. Why? The reason why is because they fear the black gene. We're very uncontrollable and very docile. The more the more stronger we are to the original core of our DNA, we have a fire. It's very temperamental, very hard to control, and it's a lot of fear. And they fear that gene. Mixed with their gene, they're easier to control. They make them more docile, which goes along with the thing of light-skinned people are very soft. Light-skinned people are very docile. They're very light. Dark-skinned people are more. This has been going on since the beginning of time, since they first came into existence. They came to Egypt. That's why when you see Egypt, it's entirely two different type of Egypts. Don't you know how dark people used to be in Egypt? You see the artifacts. You see how black the people were in Egypt. Now Egypt changed at a certain point where it wasn't as dark no more. Now it's all these light skinned people. And then they start bringing in things like the Sphinx. They didn't worship the cat in Egypt. The cat was never worshipped. It was always the dog, the black dogs, the wolf. They had those things in there that they were worshiping. They moved all that out and brought in the cat. Who brought all this into Egypt? The same people who were let to be out of Egypt. They weren't even a part of Egypt. They weren't supposed to be let in. They came in as a tribe. They show when different groups comes into Egypt from the hieroglyphics that you see on the wall. For white people, they had white chalk. When they wanted to make the light-skinned people, they used an entirely different blade to show you these are the light-skinned people. They showed up. They had nowhere to go. They were driven out. When the white people started taking over more of their territory, they were driven out of their lands. They came to Egypt and begged to be led into Egypt. They were allowed to be led into Egypt because they wanted to kill them. The dude was like, we should just kill them right now. Why are we taking them in? Let's kill them. So they said, no, we're going to take them in because the guys are looking at these light-skinned girls with long hair like Pocahontas. And they looking at them women like, man, well, let's let them in and we can kill them husbands. We can just work the husbands to death and we can just sleep with the women. Man, look at her. She's beautiful. And she got long hair. She kind of look like us. And they brought them in. And when they let them women, and they brought them on in, the kids, the women, the husbands came in there, and the husbands took jobs in Egypt, and they made them work and everything else. And the guys would sneak out on their wives and go sleep with them light-skinned girls and start making babies and breaking out on them. And it started an effect. Women, dark skin, light skin, fighting each other in there. Ronnie Duckworth, this is all facts. It started an anarchy to the point where eventually one of those guys wifed one of the light-skinned girls they brought in. Didn't they have a name for them? I might be off, but they call them Edomites. I might be wrong. It might be. I think they were called Edomites, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. And they all stayed together in their little thing. So no, Edomites. So I might be wrong on the name. I might get my mites mixed up, but I believe that I'm right there. Exactly, Mr. Johnson. You think I excluded myself? That was one of the first things I brought up is that I would be gone too. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm pretty light. So, I mean, by the way they were getting rid of people, it's it was no joke. So people thinking light skin and black skin people were all one. No, we were not. It was never that way in the olden days. And what happened came to light in Egypt. The light skinned blacks ended up taking over the dark skinned blacks. And they started running things, and it was anarchy. They made changes, they broke traditions. Then you had your Cleopatra incident, you had these Pharaoh incidents, and it ended everything. The end of the Pharaoh era, everything. It was just done. Europeans took it over, and there you have it. So when you start talking about the Willie Lynch system, or that's the Willie Lynch plan to turn light skins against blacks, dude, that's been in place. This has been in place. There was blacks who didn't like other dark skinned blacks that didn't like other dark skinned blacks because they weren't in the same tribe. Just like you got Bloods and Crips, you can't put them all in one area. The same thing was happening then. You couldn't put these people in the same area. And when they were doing their slave roundup, they realized this when they made a mistake and put militarized brothers that they caught together and mixed them in with other other blacks. They were trying to teach them how to be militant. They didn't even speak the same language. Congo brothers was a lot different and a lot more dangerous than the brothers they had here. That's why they had to stay out of the Congo. They're like, we can't go back there. We got to chill. Because catching them was hard. Plus, they were organized. Militant, organized, prepared for war. So the Congo brothers that they did capture, they were something else. Oh, thank you, Skippy. I'm glad you understand this. I'm not just making this up. Light skinned blacks were considered an abomination. They were considered an abomination because at that time, because they were unnatural, unpure. So the blacks would kill them. That's why the women would hide their kids. They didn't, that's their baby. They don't want their baby to die, so that they would hide them. So if you saw the movie Australia, you would definitely understand what was happening because they made a movie, and that's why I thank Nicole Kidman to this day because she was able to mask it and put it in this film, and nobody really knew or understood what the message was in this film. And I love it because it tells you what's going on in Australia and the world today. Australia is very segregated. Here's some knowledge for you. Let's get some education going on here. In case you thought I was lying. This is doing Pearl Harbor. This is Australia.
The mixed-race children must be dislocated from their primitive, full-blooded origin.
Do I hear a first speak? Please. 5 pounds here. 5?
How else are we to breed the blackout?
What did he say? The mixed race kids. What? How else are we going to breed the black out of them?
Now for the option of the first time.
The mixed-race children must be dislocated from their primitive, full-blooded origin.
See that? They must, out of their full-blood, pure black aborigine.
Do I hear a first speak? Please. 5 pounds here. 5?
How else are we to breed the blackout?
How else are they going to breed the black out of them? This is a movie about history. They put all these mixed race kids, they purposely was raping the Aborigine women, having babies, and taking the children and putting them on an island. Then when Pearl Harbor hit, they actually hit Australia as well. They made this movie about cattle, and she's trying to protect this light-skinned kid. See, they're taking all the light-skinned kids away, and they're taking him to the island where all the light-skinned kids go. And there's the Catholic priest where they teach them how to be Catholics and put them into white society. Most of these Aboriginal light-skinned kids were shipped to different islands, such as Puerto Rico. When the war was there, when they had the Holy Crusades, they replaced them with light-skinned black. This is called the Lost Generations. This is truth. This is actually what happened. They documented it more in the film so that you would know what was actually happening. They masked it to make you believe like you were watching a film about cattle. So it actually told you the history of this movie. At the end of the movie, the Aborigine accepted the light-skinned black and took him in and let him walk on the pilgrimage. He accepted him and took him on the pilgrimage where they go walkabout, where his boy becomes a man. And even though he was light-skinned, he was still his grandson, and he chose to take him walkabout rather than to kill him. Now, read the screen. If you can. If not, I'll read it for you. The government officially abandoned the assimilation policy for indigenous Australians in the Northern Territory in 1973. So they stopped it in 1973. That's when that program was stopped. In 2008, the Prime Minister of Australia offered a formal apology to the members of the stolen generation. So in 2008, Australia apologized for what they did all the way up until 1973. Now you understand. I don't make this stuff up. This is actual facts that happened. These are not my opinions. I'm not making an opinion. He's not leaving Hot 97. He ain't never leaving there. He going there to get a bag. He going there to be on the show next week. Then he gonna run back to his little hole over there at Hot 97. Frank, I'm telling you the truth. How you gonna tell me I never been to Egypt? You saying I never seen the pyramids? I know where it's at, on what wall, and everything. I told you I seen things you wouldn't believe exist. How much y'all want to bet Nicki is on cocaine? Nicki Minaj probably is on that, and then some. She's on Molly. She's on her whole album. She talking about popping pills, and this is somebody who didn't used to do drugs. So you can tell she coke was probably that's something she probably did for breakfast. The name of that is Australia. And there's a part in this movie where the little kid wanted to go to the movies, but he was afraid because the blacks would kill him. So they put black mud on his face to make him look darker so that he can go to the movies. So if that was wrong, then why would they do that in the film? I don't even know if that's an accomplishment to say you smashed Ariana Grande. I mean, how old is this chick? Is she got like 21, 22, maybe? She's 25, surprisingly. Jeez, that shocked me. See, that's him in the movie with the makeup on his face. They snuck him in so he can go to the movies. So to make his skin darker. He was doing this to avoid the blacks. He had to sit in the black section, but they put him up top so other blacks wouldn't see him and try to kill him. They put like black mud on him to try to make him look darker so he can go to the movies to be able to watch the movie. But he had to sit by himself and sit all the way up top so when nobody hurt him. He got to put a hat on so they don't see his hair. Because if the blacks saw him, they would have killed him. Times were a lot disturbing and brutal. Just for him being light skinned, he would have had to go. It's a historical film. That's how it was back in the day. The Aborigines will kill you if they saw that you were light skinned because you were an abomination to them. And that they were going to try to use you to replace them. So all this idea of we are all one, we were all family, was never the case. You don't believe me? Watch the movie Trick Baby. The movie Trick Baby unfolds the entire plan on what they plans that they had for light-skinned blacks. Trick Baby. They wanted to put light-skinned blacks to run and work in white society. If you look at it today, what do you see? You see more light-skinned blacks are trusted. You see most light-skinned blacks get jobs. You see most light-skinned blacks get all the benefits. You see more dark-skinned blacks go to jail, most over-policed, incarcerated. It's no mistake that this keeps happening. In Trick Baby, it was explained because Trick Baby was mixed. His mom was a hoe and his daddy was a pimp. His dad was a white guy who got a black woman pregnant, and Trick Baby came out looking white. You wouldn't know he was mixed with black, but he had the game down. So he was running the game on people. The big con game. That's what they was running, the big con, because he looked white, so people trusted him. The Trick Baby was from the streets. Trick Baby was found out. So Trick Baby was found out. That's what they call him, a trick baby, because he a baby by a trick. That's what the prostitute calls a guy who pays money to sleep with her, whatever. So he was a trick baby. So she ended up getting pregnant by one of the people that slept with her. And next thing you know, Trick Baby actually came out to do some positive things, in the community, but they was just hustlers. And one of the hustles went wrong, but getting close to the white guys, they thought Trick Baby was white. So they start telling the plans of the light-skinned black, the Trick Baby. And they were like, light-skinned blacks are perfect. The dark skins, I never trust them because they're not 100% them. And they're going to work hard to try to please white people, even though that we'll never accept them because they're not 100% us. So they got nobody. They got nobody but each other. And that's it. They're just all alone. So that's why I trust the light skin ones. Trick Baby. They explain that whole plan. And let me bring you up to date here with some more knowledge. See, the world is not PC. World history isn't PC. I just don't think you can see this thing doing it. I think it's a bit good. Maybe I have to read it to you. It says, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor on the 7th of December, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy steamed south, unleashing their fire on Darwin, a city in Northern Territory of Australia. The territory was a land of crocodiles, cattle barons, and warrior chiefs, where adventure and romance was a way of life. It was also a place where Aboriginal children of mixed race were taken by force from their families and trained for service in white society. These children became known as the Stolen Generations. Do I need to repeat it to you? It was also a place where Aboriginal children of mixed race were taken by force from their families and trained for service in white society. This stopped in 1973. In 2008, the Australian Prime Minister apologized for what happened when they did this. So what happened to all those children in the 1960s and 70s when all of this stuff was happening back in 1941? What happened to those light-skinned blacks who were taught by a Catholic priest on an island? What happened to those children who were trained for service in white society? What happened to those children? You want to know where those children went? It's called Stolen Generations. Stolen Generations. You guys got the internet in front of you. You guys could look it right up. What became of those children that they took on the island and taught by Catholic priests so they would learn how to be Catholics and learn the Catholic religion? Where were they all moved to? They were part of the Holy Crusades. After the battle was taking place in the places of the Philippines, the battles was taking place in Puerto Rico. All of those blacks were pushed back into the mountains and they were replaced with new blacks, light skinned. Now you start looking around at all these Catholic religions, Catholic religion over here, Catholic religion over there, Catholic religion over there. You got Philippines were never Catholics. Puerto Rico, that island was never Catholic. Now they're Catholic. Now they're Catholic. Mexico, now they're Catholic. Who are the most diehard area for Catholics? Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Filipinos. Never used to be their religion. Now, this thing is deeper than rap. Now, we didn't took care of Funk Master Flex, and we didn't told you some history that you can go and research for yourself. Everybody say, I don't believe you. Go and look it up. Anybody here who's been to Puerto Rico, you will know. Now you know why the people that live in the high mountains in Puerto Rico. Who here is from Puerto Rico? Who is here that is from Puerto Rico? Anybody here that's from Puerto Rico will know. If you're from Puerto Rico, and if you go to any place in the high mountain area, you will see more dark-skinned Puerto Ricans than you ever seen in your life. Up near Ponce and all the way up there. But if you're in San Juan, more light skin everywhere. And you probably wonder why that is. Have you ever asked yourself that? Why is that so? Because they were driven back there. Their ancestors were driven back that way. So they didn't even go that far to push them back anymore. They pushed them back far enough where they can just put the light-skinned blacks there and let them colonize there. So that's how Puerto Rico got so light-skinned. Puerto Ricans were never really that complexion. They were blacker than me. Where's Felix Trinidad from? Tito is my complexion and darker. Where he from? The mountains of Puerto Rico. Coupe Alto is like way in the mountains somewhere. Exactly. I'm not even that dark. Yeah, Roberto Clemente. Look at him. And where was his family from? These are all documented facts. So I wanted to drop some knowledge on you, plus talk about Flex. And we done that.